Now I will teach you a technique to write an equation and find the solution. Now here we have questions based on person and we need to find the whole. So you'll get the concept of this soon. There are three different questions here. The first one is 20 is 75% of what number? So what is that whole number whose 75% is 20? Do you understand? 20 is 75% of what number? Next question is 16 is 40% of what number? And similar to these, we have 36 is 120% of what number, right? So I'll show you how to write equation and then solve the equation in such cases. When we have 20 is, let's translate the whole sentence into an equation. So 20 is a number. 20, you say 20 is means equal to 75% means 75 over 100. Of means multiply. What number? We don't know. So let us say it is x. The number is x. So we need to find what x is. Do you see that? That is how you can translate equation, or you can translate the sentence into equation. So see, 20 as a number is means equal to 75% is 75 over 100. Of means multiplication. What number? We need to find. Let it be a variable x, right? Whatever. X, the variable. Now we have to solve for x. That is what it is. So we can cross multiply and solve for x. Do you see that? Okay. So I'm not doing it. I would like you to do it. So I'm giving you equation. And let's go to the next one now. 16 is 40% of what number? Let's first translate. It is 16 is means equal to 40 over 100 means 40%. Of means times. I'm not writing cross because it confuses with the variable x. Of what number? Let's say the number is n. You can have any variable, right? N. So we need to find what n is, correct? Now here, the last one is, I think you can write it now. 36 is 120% of what number? So we write 36 is means equal to 120% means 120 over 100. Of means times what number? We will use a variable which could be n. Okay, so n is good. So you got equations now, all the three equations. So some of you can still solve the equations, right? So solve the equations and find the value of that number. And let me show you how to solve these equations. So let's start with the very first one. Cross multiply. So we have 20 equals to 75 over 100 times x. We need to find what x is. So to find x, we'll multiply by 100 and divide by 75. So we get x is equals to 20 times 100 over 75. Correct? That is how you can get value of x. Do you see that? Can you translate this and find n? So n should be equals to what? N should be equals to 16 times 100 divided by 40. 16 times 100 divided by 40. Correct? The last one, n should be equals to, you'll multiply 36 by 100 divide by 120. So we get 36 times 100 divided by 120. What did we do here? We did cross multiply. So do cross multiply. So I'm showing you a technique of solving, correct? And the last part is probably the simplest part, is to find the solution. You can always use your calculator and find your solution, okay? That's one way. Second is equivalent fractions we did, right? So we can simplify 175, you know, quarters. There are 4 quarters in 100, 3 in 75. So you can write this as 4 over 3. Do you see that? And then simplify it. Now here we have, so first you can cancel out 0 and 0. That means dividing by 10. And then 4 goes 4 times in 16, correct? So we simplified this. Now in this case, 0 and 0 cancels, and 12 times 3 is 36. At times you can use smaller numbers. That means we can divide this first by, let us say, 4. 4 times 9 is 36. 4 times 3 is 12. And now I can divide 9 by 3. 3 times 1 is 3 and 3 times 3 is 9. So that is how we simplify, right? I am doing 3 in one stage. Since I am following the same process, I want to show you how the same process can be repeated over and over again and how we can get easy answers, correct? Now, in such cases, we can always use calculator and get our answer, right? So, I will suggest when you are dividing by numbers like 3, 7 and such odd numbers, then you are expecting a decimal answer, right? So use calculator. Now, you could have used straight away also, correct? So we have 20 times 4, which is 80. Divide by 3, right? Divide by 3 and you get a number in decimals, which is 26.66. 26.66, correct? So that is how you can use calculator and find answers if you get stuck with such numbers, right? You know, 20 is not a factor of 3, 4 is not a factor of 3, so you should be expecting a decimal number. Now in this case, these two cases, it is straightforward. 4 times 10 is 40 and 3 times 10 is 30, correct? 3 times 10 is 30. So we have got our answers here. Now can you write in one sentence what is your answer? Let's read the question. 20 is 75% of what number? We say 20 is 26 point is, so we can read 20 is 75% of 26.66, or 20 is 75% of 80 over 3. That could be more accurate, correct? So at times fractions is a better way of writing. So the better answer would have been 80 over 3, correct? Or sometimes we can use recurring. That means 6 is being repeated, right? So we can say 20 is 75% of 80 over 3. Now next one is 16 is 40% of what number? We got 16 is 40% of 40. Now is it right or wrong? Can you check it? How will you check it? So 40% of 40 is how much? Calculate and see if it is 16, okay? 36 is 120% of what number? So we found 36 is 120% of 30. Now let me check and show you. What is 120% of 30? Let's find 120% of 30. It means 120 over 100, of means multiply, times 30. Let's use our calculator, correct? Well, it is easy in this case, so we can just use like this. Cancel them. 12 times 3 is 36. We get our answer back. Do you see that? So what I would like you to do is redo this question in proper steps. When you get this answer here, just as I've shown you, 36 is 120% of 30. Check your answer. Find out what is 40% of 40. Is it 16? Find out what is 75% of 80 over 3. Is it 20? Check your answer, right? So that will give you more confidence and understanding of person, correct? So I hope you learn, one, how from a statement or a sentence you can write algebraic equation for person and then solve it. Solving here means cross multiplying and get your answer, correct? That should help you to solve most of the questions. Thank you.